Hey folks, welcome back to the Priory Podcast. My name is Dave Jackson. Welcome to my garage. Happy Friday. So today on the podcast, we're going back to 1996, the Love Tour. 1997, the Heroes Tour, and then we're going to jump all the way to 2013, the Gift of Music Tour. A lot of us priors call that the All-Star Tour, and for a very good reason. So today on the show, we get to talk to the guitar player for all three of those tours, Mr. Scott Sutherland. Wonderfully humble man, just an outstanding guitar player, which is why he was asked to be on the All-Star Tour. Great guy, solid ground. This cat is on solid ground. I love talking to this guy. So please enjoy my conversation with Scott Sutherland. On you. All right, Scott Sutherland, welcome to the Priory Podcast, man. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Just glad to be alive. Praise the Lord. I'm still here, and that's the best thing. It's just nice to get up every morning.
Every morning when you wake up, it's a blessing, right?
It sure is.
It sure is. So before we get into anything Tops and Blue tour related, tell me where are you located at right now?
Maryville, Tennessee, in the eastern portion of Tennessee, kind of close to Knoxville.
All right.
And yeah, I've been here since I got out of the service. I moved back home, and I've been here ever since.
All right. How are the kids doing? Give me an update on the kids.
Well, my son, he just graduated just here in January. He graduated early, 4.1 grade point average.
Wow.
Sweet kid, just been nothing but a joy. My daughter, she just turned 9. She's in 3rd grade, and she's absolutely wonderful too. I think the Lord gave me. He knew I was probably not the brightest guy in the world. He gave me really 2 awesome kids. I never had any trouble out of them.
Oh, nice. Well,
Hmm.
it's still a little early, but we can hope, right?
Yes, yes, yes. It seems like my son was on autopilot. He's just wonderful. The kid, I came home one day and he taught himself how to play piano by YouTube in 3rd grade. I'm talking,
Wow.
he did this song by 7 years old. Is a song, I can't think of the artist. He's a Danish guy, but I mean, perfect timing, both hands. And I couldn't believe it. I said, "How did you learn it?" He goes, "I YouTube." And I'm like, "I can't believe that, son." I mean, I was playing with Star Wars men in 3rd grade.
Well, think about this. If we'd had, so how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
53.
Okay, so I'm 62. Can you imagine if we had YouTube back in the day when we were first learning how to play?
That would be so awesome.
I mean, the advantages that young players have nowadays.
Oh, I know, I
I mean,
know.
everything from you can get any music online, you can see how it's played. I mean,
Hmm.
I look at stuff on bases and I'm like, who thought of doing this? I mean, it's just
I
amazing.
know.
Some of these skill sets out there. It's like I'm just a pea in a pod compared to these things. It's nuts. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
So what's your son's drive? What do you think he's leaning to? What do you think he's driving towards?
Well, we were just talking about today. I mean, one day he's like, "Well, I really, I love being a cop. I think I'm going to be a cop." And then today he was talking about the recruiter, and I said, "Buddy, I said, you calm down. You can do whatever you want to. I'm not pressuring you.
Yeah.
You've worked since you were 15. You went to school. You graduated early. Did really good. Let the Lord, He's put you in a green pasture. Just relax, and He'll bring it to you." I didn't know what I was going to do. I know what you're feeling. You're 18 and you feel like you're not contributing, but buddy, you don't have to worry about that. You do in your own time. You're no pressure for me. You work and enjoy yourself. You've earned it. It's
Yeah.
just been 3 months. The Lord will let you know what to find out. And
What
I
was he?
told him I joined the Air Force because actually, I was kind of a big goof off in school when I had limited options. I'm glad I joined. It was the best thing I ever did. But I said, "Son, you could do that, but it's not like you have to. But when you go there, just tell them what you want to do." And I mean, it was great for me. I needed it. He may not need it, but I was just real fortunate. I had a great enlistment. I mean, toss and blue. I mean, what? I
Yeah.
mean, it was like you can't beat that. I mean, I can't promise that to him.
Right, right, right. What did he study? What's his major study?
Well, he had physics, college level physics. He made an A in it, and he just took everything to prepare himself for college, but he doesn't want to go right now. He said he doesn't. I'm like, well, if you want to go to a trade school or whatever, I said, well, no. I said, I know your aptitude. You're really good with math. You're good with physics. I said, and you're really great with music. I mean, he can play any stringed instrument. He's not no shredder on the guitar or the mandolin or the banjo, but he plays real well.
Mhm.
And I mean, Ben piano, he plays really great. And I said, you have an aptitude for music, but you do what you want to, but
Mhm.
always keep that as an option. If you're not going to do that as a profession, you need to get out there and meet some people and play.
Well, plus whatever he decides to go into, you can still do music on the side. You
Yeah.
can do, it's not like you can't do multiple things. So there's
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, good for him. That's awesome.
Hmm.
All right. So uh, I'm gonna do some things out of order here. I kind of try to mix it up with each one of my guests. I want to hear about your Wilco performance first. What piece did
Oh,
you
okay.
play? Oh, what worldwide was it? Give me that whole piece first. I want to hear about your Wilco winning.
Oh, it was wonderful. I'll tell you, if I could go one worldwide before that, my first worldwide was in '93. That's when
Okay.
I first seen you. You were there at the worldwide.
Yep.
I believe in because you were on the staff.
Hmm.
And I remember seeing you, and I remember seeing a couple other folks there. And they put us with a band because we were at command level. We had command level, and I didn't make it as a solo act, but I
Okay.
went as a band, and we didn't win, but it was a great experience. So I didn't try out for '94 in '94, but in '95 to compete for the '96. I was an Eric Johnson fan. I
Okay.
love Eric Johnson. Cliffs It Over it came out, so I sat with that song and I played it. I played it. I'd come home for lunch during work. I would play it, not looking at it. I would play it and play it, and that's what I did at Worldwide. And the pit band, of course, at Worldwide's awesome. I mean, they played that song. It was
Yep.
sounded almost better than his band. I started off with a Stevie Ray Vaughan, Pride and Joy,
Hmm.
thing, and then I went right into it because it's in the same key, and I just hit that thing and I played it. I thought I did horrible. I was so nervous. Uh, I mean, I was excited to go, but some really good competition there, and I was scared, and then I messed up on a part, and I thought it was horrible, and I got up and I was just so disappointed. So, usually after you do your show, you had 3 nights of shows. I was the third night. We went and watched the video, and I looked at it. I said, "Well, that's not too bad. It's not bad, And
Yeah.
plus, it wasn't like instrumentals. You can kind of get away with a little bit because most people aren't into them,
Right.
except for musicians.
Yeah.
And it actually went over good, and it was the best. That worldwide was awesome. It was just magical. I mean, it was awesome. I remember the one thing about going in the interview and getting grilled by the '95 team. Even my friend Taga was on it, and he even grilled me.
Yeah.
They were just,
And Tag is gonna grill you.
oh yeah, he was grilling. That was my friend. He was like, well, if you love TIB so much, why didn't you go out in '94? You went in '93. And I was like, Taga. I was like, well, I didn't feel like I was strong. I was like, but he didn't cut me no slack, in true TIB fashion, and I, but anyway, it went good, and the best thing I won the Wilco, and I didn't know if I was going to win it or not, but when I got it, I still have that, and I'm not the Wilco, the Wilco, not the right Wilco, it's second place, but to me that was like a first place.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I still have it. It's the best award I ever received in my life, and it was like true, just nothing but magic. I remember driving home from Andrews to Langley, which is only an hour and a half. I was just on cloud nine,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if I was going to make the tour or not or anything. Then, I guess a month later or something, I'm in my office, and then everybody's in my office for some reason. My colonel's there and all this, and all of a sudden they read the order, and I was just on cloud nine. It was a dream come true. I mean,
Yeah.
I never knew about Thompson Blue when I joined the Air Force. When I found out about it, I mean, it
Well,
changed my life.
let's talk about that. How'd you find out about Blue?
Well, my buddy, I started playing guitar. I got stationed at Langley, and I could play power chords and stuff. But my supervisor was from the area, and he knew a guy that he grew up with named Mike that taught me how to play guitar. I took lessons from him, and this guy, and I think it was Lord Jesus Christ too, because in 3 months it was like I couldn't speak Spanish, and then in 3 months I could speak Spanish. I mean, I took lessons, and I just went from just playing things. He taught me music theory, and it's like I could pick up a guitar magazine, and I knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So I was just learning all this stuff, and I had a friend on bass who was a really good guitar player. But he's like, Scott, you ought to go for the bass talent competition. You ought to do that. And I was like, why don't you do it? He goes, oh, I don't want to do it. He was scared. I'm like, he was really amazing. So I did it. And it was one of those things. I'm really shy and introverted, but when I got up there, it just came together. It was just natural. I felt natural. I won the bass talent show, and I figured, oh yeah, that's cool.
So
You
that was
know,
93. That was
uh,
93?
93, I won the bass talent
Yep.
show, and then he said, then they told me about Tops and Blue, and I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. And I got to go to worldwide. Well, first we had a command level, so I got to Castle Air Force Base, got to do that. That was fun. Then
Mhm.
we got to go to
Oh,
Tyndall for
Castle, my old
worldwide.
stomping grounds. I
Yeah.
was raised in Castle. Yeah.
It was the best chow hall ever, best omelets. But
It's amazing.
but
It's
that's it.
amazing what we old XGIs have high praise for. That was a great
Yeah,
honor, Castle Air Force Base.
it was. But they made you. They. I mean, those guys. They kept you in line. You made sure they, if you had your take your cover off. They were like strict
Yeah.
there. But I tell you, it was worth it because man, that food was awesome.
So
And
so just real quick, so I got this timeline right. So you did a 93 base level talent show, and then you went to, was it command? You said command or regionals
command
next?
level.
Command
Yeah,
level. So
command
that was
level
that
for
was at
TAC.
Castle. Okay.
Hmm.
And then did you have to go through any, did you have to interview or get points or have something happen at that level to go to the next level? Or was it just
Yeah, yeah. It was. We went up against the instrumental acts. I didn't make it, but they you had to go through a couple of things. They had a couple of people that were kind of with the MWR that were really keen in the Tops and Blue thing,
Mhm.
and I can't remember their names, but they really knew what they knew that they needed a band to get together, and I guess I was me and another guy was pretty strong guitar players, so he put my buddy Corey as a rhythm player, and he put me as a lead, and we did Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band, and
Yep.
we had like it was a seven piece band, and we were all instrumental acts that didn't make it. Had a drummer, had a two horns, like a sax and a trombone bass, and then me and Corey on guitar. We did good. You're going up against you Safety. Those guys are tight because man, they had a
Always.
show. I
Yep.
mean, they were choreographed. They had outfits. We did good, but we just didn't. I mean, they were like Tops and Blue, you safety, they were great,
Well,
and we didn't make it, but it got me, I seen Tom Edwards there, and
yeah.
how Tom is, at the end, he thanked all the tech staff, he thanks everybody. He went through kind of Tops Blue. He read the poem about Tops and Blue, and I just was hooked. I mean, I just that was my goal, and that's the next year. I just didn't think I had it. Because I remember the audition, and I couldn't really read music or anything, and I was mainly a rock pop guy, so I
I
kind
can
of
relate. I can completely relate.
yeah. So I studied, a little bit of music. My guitar teacher, showed me some music reading, reading chord charts. Still wasn't great at it, but at least I had it a little bit. And then I delved into a little bit of jazz and country and stuff, and a little bit of classical. And not that we play classical, but just to expand, it helped me out a lot in '95 on my instrumental auditions. I
Right.
was I knew what to expect, and I was prepared for it.
Wow. Wow. So
Yeah,
at Castle they took all the instrumentalists and made a band and sent them to worldwide.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was awesome. We had a blast. It was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, I never knew because I never was good at anything. I mean, I was short, never good at sports,
Right.
bad acne, bad teeth, couldn't get a date to save my life. I learned how to play guitar, and all these opportunities started.
Started happening. Yeah.
And and you meet so many good friends I still talk to. I mean,
Yep.
from doing that, it's just the Lord has blessed me so much with that. I never seen that coming. I mean, He's just so great. And so now I understand why I didn't get to do this and get this. 'Cause I got to do. I mean, I had the coolest enlistment ever. I cannot. I don't even tell people anymore because they think I'm probably lying about it. I just don't even.
Well, the
I mean, I've been in
majority you
bands.
were you were in how many years? 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years. Hmm.
How much of that
And
time did you actually spend in your career field?
just with the first six, and then I got in Tops and Blue and '96, and then I did that tour, and then in '97 the guitar player only was out for like a month, and then they called me up and asked me, and I was fixing to get out, because at my I enlisted at my 3 year mark, so I was fixing at my 7 year mark, and I'm like, well, I'm fixing to get out. They say, well, you didn't want to extend your enlistment? I'm like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to go to North Texas with our sax player Jeff in '96. I
Uh,
was ready to go. I had everything, and I was like, now I'm going to do Tops and Blue again.
yeah. Yeah. I'm always impressed with people that can do back-to-back tours. Always impressed. And I have a certain love with the '97 tour because I help with that team. Actually,
Hmm.
the day the guitar player left, I left the day before. The next day he left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was tour director that year, and then I had to come home. I had a lot of stuff going on at home. I shouldn't have been on that. And I've told this story before ad nauseum. I shouldn't have been on that tour. Um, I was asked to go, and 50th anniversary of the Air Force tour. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. But we were in the middle of building a house.
Uh,
I left that responsibility to my wife, and it was just crapping out at home. And so I was keeping up with her as the '97 as we went on the road. And yeah, I eventually had to tell Tom I got to go, which broke my heart because that was such a great show. The '97 show was amazing.
it
I
was
may be
awesome.
biased because I helped be in that process of building it and whatnot, but that was an amazing show. Um, yeah, so the next day I heard a whole bunch of stuff happen on the bus the day I left or the day after I left. A bunch of people decided to do something different. So I don't know what the chaotic situation was, but I'm glad you got to go on tour. That was a great tour to go on. So
Oh, it was
congratulations on
wonderful.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but I want to talk about. Well, let's go back to '96. I want to hear for the folks that didn't see the '96 tour. Explain the set. Explain the theme of the '96 show.
Gotcha. Well, it was love is what it was. So we did, that was all themed around love. And we had a red stage, everything like that, and had a really cool Tivoli and everything like that. Went to staging. And wow, you want to talk about humbling.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, I get there, of course, it's Tops and Blue, they push your limits. But two of the best guitar players in Tops and Blue ever was probably, Bernie Rome, you know, and who was like the best R&B guitar player I ever met, and then Jim Wintermeyer, the best guitar player I've ever met personally.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was all really excited, because, oh, yeah, I'm in Tops and Blue, but you want to talk about feeling this big,
Yeah.
getting around those guys, they were so good. It was, I
Well,
mean, I was almost in tears sometimes because I just didn't think I was
well,
going
you
to
feel
make the
like an
cut.
imposter. I felt like an imposter. I got there. I had complete imposter syndrome because of the bass
Mhm.
players I competed against that were priors at the '92 talent show to make the '93 team. I felt like a complete imposter.
I did
Why
too.
am
I
I
was like,
here? Why am I?
no, I
I
was
mean,
like,
I know I've done songs. I know I can play, but why? Why? It's really weird. I totally get what you're saying. Absolutely get what you're saying.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was something else. I mean, because I remember when I got in it when I made the tour, '95 came in, so I went to volunteer to help them out. I knew I was going on the tour, and I heard a guitar. I thought it was Steve Vai. Somebody was playing Steve Vai. And look, it's Jim Wintermeyer warming up,
Hmm.
and I was like, I couldn't believe how he plays. Not only does he play everything, he plays jazz, country, rock, but
Yeah.
he does it. Great showman. He acts like he's like he's just walking. He's doing it
Yeah. It's
and
like
playing
breathing. It's like
keyboards
breathing
too.
for Jim. It's like breathing for
Yeah,
Jim. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it, and I still haven't met anybody that's good. And personally, I've seen great guitar players, but as far as meeting somebody personally, that guy was the best. And then on top of that, Bernie, who I've never seen anybody play big band in an R&B style like him. I mean, that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a chordsmith, man, and it was just, man, I just it really was humbling. It was great though because I learned so much from those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually I've known Bernie since the mid '80s, mid to late '80s. I actually had a chance. The '97 team. We went to our first show was in Kentucky. We put everything on a C5, flew to Kentucky, took everything off the C5, and then we set up for the show. But the team had gone, I forget, dinner or something, and Bernie and I stayed with the set to work out some audio stuff. And I got to jam with Bernie on stage when nobody was around.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first time I've actually played music with Bernie. And it was 20 minutes of an absolute hoot. So
Oh,
I totally understand what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying about Bernie. Absolutely.
yeah, he was amazing. And I love Bernie. I guess, man, he rode me hard, man. I tell you, that guy, he was intimidating anyway, because Bernie's a big guy,
Yeah,
and I'm like 5'6", and he's like 6'6". So, you
yeah,
know, and he didn't cut me no slack, but he really made me work hard. And my second tour, he was a lot cooler, but my first tour, he was like, he goes, me and you may think you think you're a good guitar player, don't you? But me and that's not true, don't we?
yeah,
That's what he
yeah,
looked.
yeah. Yeah, I can
It just,
see. Yeah,
but he was just keeping me. He just wanted to he made sure he pushed me, to do it. And man, he was really cool. I mean, I learned so much from him just watching him play when I got on the tour for '97, watching Bernie, because before I got on, I didn't know the show, so he was backstage playing the guitar parts, and I was
yeah.
watching him play it, and just watching him, I seen how he do it, and he could play that big band stuff, this the quarter note kind of Freddie,
Well,
Fred,
it's a it's a it's a it's a different chord per beat.
yeah,
It's
and
it's a
and
different
he's
chord
he doing it,
playing
no
right through it.
problem,
Yeah,
and I learned all of it, and just watching him, he said, "You paying attention to this?" He looked at me real mean. I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm watching."
yeah. I'm watching. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but he was.
so the '96 show. Give me the breakdown of the set. I know we talked about a lot of red. Give me the breakdown of the set and the theme again on the '96.
Oh, it was great. Well, we started off. We had one of our vocalists, Josh. We did a John Tesh song. And we had tucks with tails. We're all real stiff, playing. And it's Big Scott on drums. Had Teak, Randy on keyboards, Ken on keyboards. Had Sonny on bass.
Mhm.
Me on the guitar, and had Tanya and Jeff on trombone and sax. And we just start off real stiff, but Josh, he starts being real stiff with the conductor, and then he starts jumping around, doing crazy things, acting like his leg is a guitar playing it. And it's a real funny thing. Did a great job with it. And so we did this John Tesh tune, and then it goes into "Love Is a Wonderful Thing" by John Bolton. I mean, by Michael Bolton.
Michael
And
Bolton.
then well, just like a medley of it. Then we go into big band. So we do "Hello, Young Lovers," some 40 stuff, and almost like being in love. And it was really cool. So we did the kind of the 40s thing, and then it kind of got into some pop stuff like "Somewhere Out There," some things. Celine Dion had a ladies set, was really good. And Then went into a country set, and you did like an oldie set, and then we had the patriotic thing.
Mhm.
But it was really cool. I mean, we had some great vocalists, great talent. I mean, we had this guy named Brian McCall on the tour, and I remember watching him at Worldwide. This guy, I've never seen anybody perform like this guy. I mean, people were screaming. You would think the Beatles were up there. He did this bossa nova song that he redid, and he was one of the vocalists. Then you had Huey Gaucher, who was freaking amazing, on there, and Lenise. Everybody was great.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, we had strong vocalists, and great dancers. Jose was our tour director, Jose Finn, who was
yeah,
awesome, as chief,
yeah.
and you know, uh, just some great vocalists. Everybody's just really super cool, and the songs were great. And music, it was kind of tough for me. It was really the 40s stuff was really challenging for me. And Jim helped me out a lot with a lot of the complicated chords and how to just really look at the color tones. You don't have to play everything, just play the color tones of it. Once I figured that out, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, now I'm kind of
Yeah,
getting it.
yeah, yeah. I'd never played jazz till I got to staging. Not one lick.
Either.
When Terry Griffey put down, "You Ain't Got a Thing" music in front of me, I was like, what did I get myself into?
Especially for the bass.
Oh,
Because you're
I
like a
was
doo
a
doo doo
mess, man. I
doo.
was a complete mess. It took me a long time to get my jazz chops, even, and they still were. That was crazy for me, but I learned a lot, like you did. Did the set
Mhm.
have did the set transform in any way? Was there any like pieces that
Yeah.
came out in between stuff? How'd that stuff work?
Yeah, we had at first it was split. We had two tiers, like we had three tiers, like on one side and three tiers on the other, and there was a space in the middle of it. No, at first it was together, and then when we did when we did somewhere out there, and when we did we did like a song reach, it was kind of like a techno song. Then we did like You're Gonna Miss My Lovin', and Brian did that with a real low voice, was a big showstopper. Then the ladies set would happen. They would open, they would open the stage,
Okay.
and they would, the stage you put they'd open, so it's split. So I'm on that third tier, and in this little thing, you have to really kind of brace yourself for the actually you fall off of that.
Right, right, right.
But then the ladies would come out, and it was really good because it was dark. You had TIB and Tivoli in the back, and then they had the smoke, and then they had these black sequins dresses. Man, they looked tight coming out of there, and they'd come out singing "Because You Loved Me" from Saint Celine Dion. It was awesome. I mean, it was so fun to play that song too because it wasn't a really big guitarist thing, but it was Daniel Huff did the guitar stuff in the original song. So it's a lot of arpeggiated stuff, a lot of kind of those R&B kind of Jimi Hendrix, sliding fifths around, just
Yep.
really cool stuff that people probably won't notice, but I like, it was a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
fun.
Well, guitar
Yeah.
players can notice it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the fun part about it. We just had really great, it was a great, I mean, we had some really good musicians, like Scott was great on drums and Ken was great on keyboard. And of course, my buddy Jeff, he won the Roger for the instrumental. He was jazz sax player, really good.
Yeah.
And just everybody was great in the band. We didn't really, I was kind of the weak link. That's really my first real band. I played in the dorms, and we have like all these people that really knew music, and here I am. I mean, I'm really kind of pulling up the rear. I'm good at listening by ear, but I mean, I was really kind of a baby when it comes to reading charts and stuff.
Well, you and I had the same path, man. I played bass in the dorms. I was never really in a band, and I started shooting for blue when matter of fact, the first show I saw was Chief Finn in 1983 at RF Bentwaters.
Oh wow.
First show I saw, and ever since then I was doing talent shows. I started in '83 and at base level in England, made it to command level. Then that stopped. I got shot down there. That's why I met Bernie at command level in England.
Hmm. Oh.
Sorry, in Germany. In Germany, regional level was in England. Then we went to Germany from England. Um, but I was the same way. I was when I got to staging, the guitar player Robert and myself were the least capable readers of everybody. So we were the
Hmm.
ones that were always in the shed, my Rockman and my tape player. If I and
Hmm.
my technique was, and it got me through it. If I couldn't figure it out by ear, then I would go to the chart and go measure by measure, and pull out notes and figure out. That's how I had to do it. So I completely understand what you're saying because again, I prepared a little bit for worldwide. I learned all the songs they sent to me, which was great. But I wasn't prepared for the onslaught of here are four charts. I'll be back in an hour. I
Hmm.
was not prepared for that. So I had to figure that out really quick. So then, and we and a few folks have said this before. You learn quickly, learn the verse, learn the chorus, learn the tag, go to your next song. Unless you know it's
Hmm.
going to be the full song, which is typically the jazz set stuff or the patriotic stuff. But the country and the pop stuff's all medleyed. At least it was, in the years I saw, in the years I played, all medley stuff. So you just learn what chunks you need to have for that medley.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
I
had to learn the hard way because I'd learned all of it. And they're like, okay, we're going to switch the keys on this, and then we're going to
well,
cut this.
yeah. Well, that's how it starts. You think you have to learn it all, but after about a month in staging, you're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, I'm seeing the
Hmm.
trend here. I'm understanding it now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we had two music directors. We had Bernie and we had Terry Griffey. So that was
Hmm.
that was and that was those were two different worlds.
Hmm.
Two
Oh
different
yeah.
worlds. So yeah. Was the stage set, the 96 set, a hard set to put together? Was it a quick set? Did you guys learn that set really quickly or was it
We
complicated?
no, it was it took 2 months. We had it wasn't too bad. I think well, we had a couple of problems. We had a drummer in the beginning that lasted a week and he left. We had a trumpet player that we brought in, and he didn't last. So we had a couple. The drum wasn't too bad, but Scott came in. And he was able to fill it out pretty good. It was about 2 months. I think we learned it. It wasn't too bad. We had some really cool songs. We did a few songs that we cut. I wish we would have kept in. We did "Most Beautiful Girl in the World" by Prince, and Huey was singing that. And Huey could sing high,
Yeah.
and he had that down. We had all the keyboards. We even had the clock sound going. It was really cool, but it just didn't fit the show, so they cut it. So I was like, oh man, because I love Prince.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was pretty good for me. I practiced a lot. I mean, the 40 stuff. I pretty much constantly practiced I was always practicing. I just was I just didn't want to be the weak link. So I was always trying to practice my parts and everything like that. But for the most part, I never really screwed anything up too bad noticeably in the show. Um, Other than sometimes, my guitar going out or something, me having to jump off stage or breaking string or something.
Mhm. Yeah. Now,
I
what
remember we
about?
played the opera. We played the Opera House one time over in Spokane, the Opera House.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, we played there one time, and I broke a string right before the show, and I didn't have my backup ready. So
Ooh.
right before the show, I went, and Chief was on the road with us. I went to the dressing room to change it, and I hear some running, and I seen Chief, and Chief is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm changing my string." He goes, "Get back out there! You're ruining everything." And Chief, when he
Yeah,
does that, you jump. I jumped up there with five strings and I
yeah.
played with five
You
strings.
you you would have played. You would have played with two strings. You've been doing a two-string bar chord the whole jazz set.
Oh yeah, man, it put the fear. I tell you, I've never seen, and Chief, he's got those really blue eyes, and
Yeah,
those,
yeah,
he just when he looks at you, man,
yeah.
I tell you,
You,
woo.
you you respond accordingly. That's correct.
Yes.
You do. Now, the actual stage set itself. How long did it take you guys to get that mastered? Did it take a long time
Oh
to do
well,
that thing?
yeah. When it first started, of course, our first show, of course, we did the basic trainees. But the
Mhm.
first thing we had was July 4th over at Randolph. We played in the heat, and it took us forever to put that back together. They let us have two trucks. We had our truck, and then we had a rental truck because we were going to learn how to put it together at Holloman.
Okay.
So we put everything loosely in two trucks. I volunteered to do shotgun with the trumpet player because you know, we'd sneak and smoke back there. But
Mhm.
we were in the one they let us use that had no air conditioning in West Texas in in July.
Yeah.
So man, we about burnt up. We didn't have any drinks in there, man. I was like, I wish I didn't do this because it was a long drive from San Antonio to Alamogordo. But we got there, and then Chief, he was there, said, put this here, put that there. And it took us forever. I mean, forever. I mean, I remember we went to Las Vegas, was our third show. We tore down. We didn't get done till 5 in the morning. And we're in Las Vegas. I slept till 5 in the afternoon because it was so hot too.
Yeah.
And in UNLV, we play there because we had to park. We couldn't back it up to the dock. We had to go straight down, pull everything out, roll it up, and then lift it up to the dock. And it was 100 degrees. I thought I was going to die. But then it got to the point we could tear it down in an hour and a half. It was awesome. We could set it up in like
Wow.
3 or 4 hours. I mean, we got it real quick. I was they initially because I was small, he was going to put me on rigging, but I was scared of heights. I got up on a bucket truck at Holloman. I started shaking, and I told Chief, I said, "I'm sorry, Chief," because Chief was on the road with us. I said, "I'm scared of heights." He just laughed. He goes, "That's okay, Scott. We'll put you on staging." And I loved it because I was, you know, Alex was our Stephen Alexander was a load master, and I was the one that lifted stuff up to him. Got in great shape
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that,
No
man.
kidding. No
I
kidding.
mean, it looked like I was, in some kind of workout program as for doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So it's I can't imagine since you had 96 under your belt and you get asked to go into 97 after, they lose. I wish I remember that guitar player's name. He was really good too.
Oh, they called him Forrest, but he was good. It
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, that was a really mean thing to call him too. I remember that. That was
Yeah,
rough.
I know.
Uh, can't remember his name.
I
Yeah.
can't either.
Anyway, I mean, I worked with him all through, was with him through all his staging and all the, the first 2 dozen shows or whatever he did before I left. But so you're off the 96 tour, you're on the 97 tour now. You get into a team you've never met, you've never worked with, and you're like, and that music, and I'm sure some other priors will probably call me out from the 70s, but I don't remember doing Three Dog Night, hearing tours with Three Dog Night or the Carpenters. We did some real the 97 stuff was really, really good. There
Oh
was some
yeah.
really unique songs in that show.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah, I loved it.
yeah, I mean, did you fit in with that cast pretty quickly? Did they welcome you in?
Yeah, I think because when I got on, I was just so happy to be out on tour and learning. I'm trying to think of the person. Let's say yeah, I kind of clicked. First, we had D. Tomaso on drums, and I was stationed with D. Tomaso. I played with him once. I didn't. We were in the same squadron, but didn't really play music a lot. But I knew him, and so I kind of knew him. And then, and Bernie was out there, so I knew Bernie. And but Tega came out because Dita Monster, I think he had to leave because I think his wife was having a kid or something, and so he left. And Tega came in. Tega was my buddy, so that was perfect. I had Tega, and then then plus everybody was real friendly with me. I started, especially Malicio. Me and him got to be real good for Malicio Garcia.
Yep.
Then Gibby on bass. Gibby was awesome.
Gibby, Gibby, Gibby blew me. I was so blown away by his bass playing.
Oh yeah.
Monster. Just so good.
And didn't you tour with Snakes?
I did. Toured with Kevin. I
Yeah,
toured with
because
Snake. Yep.
yeah, Snakes was great. He was good. Snakes was. I liked him because I mean he'd be rough with you. You messed up in the show. Oh, would you need another solo, Scott? Did you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
another
yeah,
solo?
yeah,
He was
yeah,
great, man. He was
yeah.
awesome. And
He would give me
then we
the
had
eye. He would give me the eye. If I hit a clunker, um, I'd get that. He'd got his keyboards to be doing doing that kind of thing. And he'd go,
Yeah, I liked him because he was fun. He would just give you the business, man. I loved it. It
yeah,
was fun, and man, it was great. Malicio and the band, and then the vocalists, and we I fit in pretty good with those guys. We had a great time, and uh, let's see. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was just I just wanted to learn the show. That's the one thing I wanted to make sure I learned the show. And once we got that, but man, we cut up more than anybody, especially me and Malicio and Tega. I mean, it was so much fun. Especially Tega was my partner because he was the one. Me and him would lift things up to Keith. You did Keith.
yeah,
And Keith was our load master, and he was awesome. Hirschman, and we'd always bust on each other all the time. I mean, me and Tega busting on Malicio, they'd bust on me, we're busting on Keith, and Keith was a great sport. And Gibby, he would sit there and listen. He would laugh, but Gibby was stoic, but he
yeah,
he was a good sport. Great bass player, man. Guy was amazing.
yeah.
Just super and you know, had a great time. I mean, it was a good tour and I was so happy to be out again. It was like I remember being in Italy and sitting there and I just prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, thank you for letting me do this. I had to pinch myself. I cannot believe I'm going to Italy again. I'm going to get to go here and I'm looking at northern Italy coming in from from Austria. I said,
Yeah.
this is a dream come true. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I never would have thought I'd get to do it again.
And I don't think you have to wonder how many folks have been through this program have appreciated, that level of I'm going to Greece tomorrow, or I'm going to, like on the 93 tour we did Eastern Europe. We're going to Bulgaria tomorrow. We're going to Lithuania. We're going to Estonia. We're going to Hungary. I mean, a lot of it didn't. A lot of we're so focused on the next show, getting it better, the next show. Do I have my passport? You don't think about the whole. I'm going to, like you just said, I'm going from Austria to, Italy. Who does
Hmm.
it? Who? Very few people. I don't know what the percentage is. I'm sure it's tiny, tiny, tiny. I can say they've been to 20, 30 plus countries.
Hmm.
You know, and
It's amazing.
let alone didn't have roadies. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It was a dream come true. It was a
yeah,
dream come true. I was
yeah.
like, when I tell people about it, I remember I was in bands with some people, they thought I was lying about it till Facebook came out and then they could see, oh, you actually were telling the truth. I'm like, yeah, I'm not
How
lying.
do
I
you
mean,
make something like that up? You can't make a
I know.
story like that up.
I just, I guess it was so far fetched. They're like, oh, there's no way. And I'm like, I just quit talking about it because it's almost, I feel bad. I feel like I'm bragging, but I mean, you got to share it with somebody. But when you're around, like when we're talking right now, it's so awesome to be able to talk Thompson Blue because I don't get to talk about it that
Yeah,
much with
yeah,
people, and they don't understand. When you talk about the band, they just think, oh yeah, it's cool, you got a band. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I mean, this thing, you just don't. There's nothing like it. There's nothing
yeah,
like it,
yeah,
and it's. I wish people could see it, and I think Chief was trying to communicate that, right before they got rid of it, by taking the you, you know, uh, public fairs out to show people what we do. It's so amazing. It's people would be proud. I remember my grandfather got to see us in '96 because we played in Nashville. My
mhm,
grandfather's a stoic guy, but he was in the Navy. He watched our show. He was crying.
yeah, yeah,
And it brought tears. I mean, and it does. When I watch, you just don't know how much sweat equity went into us performing them songs and everything like that, and how hard everybody worked, and how you see the vocalists and the dancing and singing, sweating out there, and how many times people fall asleep playing their instruments, learning that music, and we love it. And
yeah,
and people would say stuff about about the program. It's like, hey, you don't have to be here. If you want to leave, you can leave at any time. It's like the SEALs. You can ring the bell and leave if you want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
And somebody else, they'll bring
Great
somebody else out.
analogy, by the way. Great
Yeah.
analogy.
It's like, and they would say, oh, when they worked this hard. Yeah, but we're out here because we love it. Yeah, I've worked over like 27 hours one time. We went from Amsterdam to Eglin to do a show for Bob Hope. It was an honorary veteran. We didn't, but man, it was great. I wouldn't trade anything for it. I love it. I want to go home. This is what I love. Where else are you going to be able to get to do that? Where
Yeah,
else is a place going to take a guy that can't hardly play guitar, make him into look like a professional up there and get that? Nobody does that.
nobody does.
Nobody.
Nobody. No.
Yeah.
And I've told people time and time again on my 20 years and one day in the military, that was the hardest thing I've mentally and physically I've ever done. Even it blows away Desert Storm, Desert Shield. It just was completely the hardest. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in the military, and the
It
most
is.
gratifying thing I've ever done in the military.
Oh, it is. I'm like, I remember, I mean, I'm serious and I'm not just joking. I mean, you see our ladies on tour after 2 months, they do this with the hand thing and they're all cut. They look
Yes,
like they've been working
yes,
out. I mean, girls are in shape. I was on the top physical condition and I smoked 2 packs a day and I looked like I went to the gym all the time. I mean, because we just worked. I mean, it was like you're working. Everybody was. Everybody's in good shape. It's because, I mean, and you just get used to it. You go out in Europe and you like, I want to see this. I know we got to be on the bus, but you learn how to sleep for 2 hours and go out and see things. And
yeah. You figured out pretty quick. You figured
yeah,
out.
it's
Yeah,
it's 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 amazing. And and you think you want to go home after the first tour and you get there and it is. They talk about the wall and there was a wall.
oh
I
yeah,
hit a wall.
oh
And
yeah.
I was lucky enough to get to go tour, a couple months after I got back. I wasn't home 3 months and I got to go back out again. But man, it was because nobody has that fire. Nobody's working at that pace.
Yep, yep. So let's talk about your 2013 tour. And to be fair, I know nothing about the 2013 tour. I mean nothing. I don't know where you guys went. I don't know how you guys got selected to go. I'm not sure why the tour was built that way. So start from scratch on that whole 2013.
This was like, I'll tell you what 2013 was for me. It was like, how Al Bundy on the Married with Children talk about high school football?
Yeah.
I felt like Al Bundy got to go back to Polk High and play football again, like he always wanted to. That's what I felt like.
That's another great analogy. I love that.
That's what it was. I was sitting with my mother at her house. We were watching Breaking Bad on TV.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden I get this message, how would you like to take a tour in the desert? And I'm like, who is this? And there was like,
Yeah.
you want to go back on tour? I said, I know this is a joke. Somebody's messing with me. There's no
Wait a
way.
second,
And
you got
then
a text?
I got a Facebook message.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
You didn't know who it was.
from Terry
Okay.
over at Thompson Blue.
Yeah. Over. Yep.
And I thought they were joking. I thought, oh yeah, right. Then there's no way. And then when I found out what was true, I was like, I thought myself, I can't believe this. I was excited. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to get to do this again. So I was like, how's
Yeah.
work going to let me go? And I talked to my mom about it because I was working for US Bank at the time. And I worked for them, well, for altogether about 23 years. And I told mom, so what if they don't let me go? She goes, y'all just quit. I said, I'm going to quit. If they don't let me go, I'm quitting. How? I never would have thought I'd get to go to Thompson Blue again. I will quit if they don't let me go. And they let me go. I told my boss about it, and immediately the next day, yeah, you're approved to go. US Bank approves it to go. You get to go. And I couldn't believe it. I don't know, because I know I'm not the best guitar player that was ever there. I figure it was probably some people wasn't available. I know because if they asked Jim if Jim could do it, he would be the perfect guy to do it. The people I know, but there's a ton of guitar players I've seen. I know they could do it, but I don't care how I got on it. I'm just glad I got to do it. It was amazing.
Well, how did you get? Okay, so you got the message from Terry. Now, how did you finally get
Uh-huh.
how the final version of "This Is Really Real" happen? Who told you?
Slim, Ed Jones. Yeah,
Okay.
Ed, yeah, and Ed, he was the the music coordinator, or for the vocalist
Yeah.
back in '96,
Mhm.
and in '97 too. So I hadn't seen Slim in forever, and he told me, and I was like, I can't. I said, are you serious? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I said, I can't believe I'm getting to do this again. This is crazy, and then when everything happened, I'm like, thank you, Lord. I mean, it was really like I can't believe I'm doing this. And they sent me the music, and I was learning the songs. And Barry, well, and then I talked to Barry, which Barry had just started. He used to do the pit band back in doing the worldwides and stuff. Well, he became Bernie. Took
Yeah.
Bernie's position over, and that's what Barry was doing. And I think maybe Barry might have suggested me because I was pretty cool with Barry when he first started over there. And Barry was awesome, and he remembered me, I guess. Uh, and It was one. I think one thing the good rapport with Barry, I think he liked about me is he said, because even though the big band stuff was hard, I'd try to play it. Some people would just cut out. I'd play it.
Yeah.
I wanted to play that stuff, and maybe I think that was one thing he liked because I liked it. I don't care if I don't listen to it. I'll play anything.
Yeah.
I just like playing guitar. And but no, we went over there, and I mean, I practiced my butt off. I just sat there and it was tough when I
Well,
went down there
how
because
much time did you have? How much time did you have between the time they gave you the music before you reported to Lackland?
I think about 3 weeks. So they gave me the music and I learned it. And of course, it was the same stuff you get down there and then they switch it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we only had 3 weeks to put it together. So it was real quick, but you had really great musicians. Oh man, I mean, everybody was great that was down there. I mean, they were all good. It didn't take us no time. It was really easy, and of course I was the slow one still. I mean, I remember I practiced so hard that I got tendonitis, and
Wow.
my hand would wake me up at night because I practiced so much, and so I had to, like, when we'd go to you know practice at the production center. I would not play unless we were all playing together. I would just look at the charts and try to memorize it to let my hand heal it. And it healed up, but it was pretty bad. I thought I was going to have to go home, but I was like,
Wow.
I ain't going home. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just let it heal itself. And it finally did. I had a numb
Oh,
spot on
that's
my,
well. Hang on. Let's stew on that a second. You didn't tell anybody your hand hurts, so you had to kind of
no,
fake it a little bit to make it through.
yeah, I just would like shed mentally, with the
Yeah.
stuff. And I'd wait when we went to the shed, I just wouldn't play. I would just look at the charts. Then when we got together, then I'd play. My hand would be hurting, but I got through it and finally given my hand that rest, it was good because we would play for like 12 hours and I'd come home and I'd practice for another three.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they gave me a Strat that had like 11s on it and I was doing a lot of bends. So we were doing the Eagle set and I was trying to play Heartache Tonight instead of doing the slide because I didn't want to tune things down. I was going to pick and use, like bend, like do pre-bends and come down. Well, they had 11s on there and I killed my hand doing that. Well, I switched and, put the lighter gauge on it and I was fine. But what it was, I was playing these cables, I wasn't used to. It's like stupid. I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Cables.
Yeah. But,
Well, you
but,
came.
but yeah, it healed up finally and I was fine. But, man, the set was great. I mean, the Christmas set was awesome. We did a really cool Christmas set. I mean, we did, Nat King Cole. We did, Feliz Navidad. We did, All I Want for Christmas Is You. And we did Siberian, or, the Siberian,
Oh, yeah.
we did Carol of the Bells. And that was awesome because that was like right up my alley. That
Yeah.
was like metal.
That's rock opera stuff right there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Great set. The Eagles, we did, a LaBouche set was awesome. Did a great country set. We did the opening set, all the music was cool, man. It was just awesome. And then everybody was great. I mean, we had Godfrey on the keyboards, and Godfrey was a better drummer than he was a keyboard player. And he was an awesome on the keyboards. Amazing. And then we had Malicio again on we just, everybody was awesome. And then Max playing drums, Mac Hewlett, man, he's a freaking awesome drummer. I mean, that guy, I tell you, man, he was in a great show, man. If you watch him on that holiday video, watch Max. I mean, that guy he loves playing the drums and he's having a blast doing it.
I'm gonna
One of the
I'm
best drummers I played with.
I've not seen any bits of the 2013 show. I'm gonna check it out. What kind of stage set did you guys take over?
Oh, what kind of set? It was they call it the overseas set. We didn't have a lot of frills with it. It was a basic thing. We had we had I believe the stage, yeah, was kind of red. We had red suits on. Didn't have much. We had a light show, but it wasn't. It was not as big as like '96 and '97. Not as big because everything was aircraft palette, and we were going to. We went to, well, first Turkey, then we went to Kuwait, Oman, went to UAE, went to Kyrgyzstan, which was freaking awesome. I've never been to Kyrgyzstan. And then to Afghanistan, we went there. And where else did we go? Doha.
Bahrain,
No, we didn't go to Bahrain. What's that place? Where Doha is, that country?
Qatar,
Qatar.
Qatar.
Qatar,
Yeah.
yeah. And we went there, and we went to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just all we just did the Southwest Asia because of the sequester. We just did that for like a 3 week show. And yeah, of course we did. I believe did we do it? Yeah, we did a show in San Antonio too before we went out, and it was great. Lane McRae was on there. He was awesome. Lane. You know, good to get to go play with him. With Grammy winner. It's freaking awesome.
He was
Uh,
he was on our team in '93.
was he? Oh
Yeah.
wow,
He
man.
was there for the first. He had to leave. He had to go back. We were in Germany. That's when he had.
Hmm. Oh really?
Yeah. So you got to play guitar behind Lane. I get to play bass behind Lane. How
That's
cool is
awesome.
that?
It was. I mean, it was, and Lane was great. He
Yeah.
was just
He was awesome. One of the best.
very. Yeah, for somebody to reach that height of success, he was the most down to earth guy. I'd always say, because he smoked and I smoked back then. He's like, Scott, we got to take a union break.
Yeah.
We go out and smoke. He was real cool, and everybody was real cool on that tour. It was
How
something,
many shows?
to put. Huh?
How many shows was it?
We did. Trying to think, we did. Okay, first we did San Antonio. We did Turkey, Kuwait, Oman, UAE.
That was a really
Uh,
short tour.
we were real short, yeah. We did 2 shows in Qatar, 2 shows in Afghanistan, one in Kyrgyzstan. We did probably just about maybe 11 shows, maybe something like that, I think. And it was a real short tour, just 3 weeks. And but it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was like a dream. I was like, I can't believe I'm out here again. I
Yeah.
mean, I hadn't been in the service. It's been 16 years since I've been in the service, and I'm getting to do this. It was. I just wish it would have lasted longer. I mean,
Yeah.
we're starting to get tired. I can imagine if we did a normal tour, how great that show would have been. I
Yeah.
mean,
If you had more
it
time.
was. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and everybody was professionalism. Didn't have any weak links or nothing. Not that we did on the other tour either, but I mean, these are people that really got it. And people had toured before. Sometimes I know Lisa, one of the trumpet players, she toured 3 times.
Yeah.
She was in. I had two. I thought I did a lot. She did 3 back to back. And she had people that were real seasoned and knew what to do and kind of fell into place. Matter of fact, it was so intense. People were fighting over things to do a little bit.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get done with all this. So you were a civilian now when you did the 2013 tour, right? You were a civilian.
hmm Yeah.
How long you been a civilian when that happened?
Let's see, since I got out in '98, so
Holy crap.
2013. Yeah.
What? That's a long time. Then you
Yeah,
get
I
the
was one
phone
of the
call.
yeah, I was one of the I was one of the old farts on the tour. Because we
Wow.
had a lot of people, like I knew Malicio and I knew Lane because he used to come out and because him and Slim were friends. When we'd go over Europe, Lane would come out, and I toured with LT, who was our well, he's major now. He was our in '97. He did the sound for us, and he was awesome. So it's good to see him
Alan.
again.
Alan Sack Allen, right? Alan, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Alan, right?
yeah. He's
Alan's
yeah.
awesome.
So, oh yeah, he's amazing. He's a super nice guy. Now you want to talk about a guy in shape for his age, man. That guy, he's like
Those Iron Mans.
I
Yeah.
know, man. He's like immortal.
Yeah.
Great genetics, man. I'm telling you. But
Yeah. Yeah.
no, it was good. But yeah, I was one of the older guys on tour, man. It was something, because all the other people, that they were younger than me, for the most part, except for a couple people, Lane and I'm horrible. I should know name. I'm really good usually, but I guess I can't think of anything right now. But some of the other guys had been Tommy. Yeah, Tommy. He toured in '88, I think, or something. Um, but yeah, it was. I was one of the older ones.
Wow. Wow. Then you went back, you got done with that, you went back to your bank job.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
I like how you say that.
I know. Man, it was almost like, a dream. You wake up and it's like, oh man, just as soon as it started, it was over. And it was like, oh man, why can't this just keep on going on?
Yeah.
I wish they'd bring it back, Tops and Blue, it's, I think people seem just kind of, I mean, I know, times has changed and everything like that, but man, those shows meant a lot to people that were in places where you couldn't get entertainment, like, if you played in New York City, well, you weren't a big deal, but when you played in Kansas or Enid, Oklahoma and stuff, that was a big deal. Mountain Home, Idaho. I mean, people loved it.
The remotes in Germany, remotes, yeah,
hmm
all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
people forget that. Well, I don't think they forget. At least the folks that we know don't forget this stuff. But our job was to let people forget about life for an hour and a half.
hmm
That was our gig. We want to entertain you for an hour and a half so you can forget about all the crap that's out here in the peripheral, and let's just have a good time with these folks for an hour and a half. That was. And it sounds simplistic, and it was really hard work to do all that, but that was our goal. And Blue did it just exceptionally. I mean, set the tone for that. We did it so well. And like you said, it's a shame that it's gone, but it is what it is. So
Yeah. Oh, I wish it'd come back. I mean, I've never seen, I mean, when we played, I remember we'd play, you probably did. You remember the Niagara Falls deal
yeah,
uh,
yeah, the
I
lights.
think, yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, it packed that place.
that's where
I
my
mean,
that's where my dad saw me because I'm from
yeah.
upstate New York. That's where my dad saw me for the first time. That's where my dad saw me for the first time play bass.
Wow. I bet you he was like, whoa.
Him and his sister, my aunt came, some of their friends, and it meant, like you said, when you had your moment, um, when my dad saw me play, and then my mom got to see me play in Rome, New York, up at Griffiths Air Force Base. That's where she's.
Wow.
Like, a bunch of my cousins came up there. My wife went up to that show. Yeah, so I totally get it. Yeah, yeah,
It's something. It's I've seen where we played. I remember Jose's base. We played downtown, off base, and we packed the place. I mean, it was. I mean, and I remember. I mean, I've seen when we played. I remember we played Afghanistan in Bahrain in the general. We were sitting there. We had breakfast with them. We played Christmas Eve, and we were playing Christmas. They were under so much stress. I seen the general. I seen in his eyes. And he was like, "My first general order, y'all, when you get home, is to hug your families." And he had a tear going down his eyes. I started bawling. And I
Wow.
remember Ryan Daniel. He was one of the vocalists on our tour too. He said, GD it, Scott. And he started crying too because I started crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really something. You could tell the stress they were going under because we had a rocket attack right before we got there.
Oh,
And
wow.
we weren't there, but we got there and we were rock attack. And I've never, I played in, we went to Bosnia, I've been to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, we played places like that, but it wasn't hot when I went over there. It was kind of hot. But when we got into Bahrain. And it's like, yeah, we just had a rocket attack. And I remember sitting in my room by myself that night and just reading the Sermon on the Mount. I didn't tell my family at home what was going on, but I was scared. I was like, I've never been in this before. And I could feel, I was only there for 2 days and I could feel the stress that everybody was on over there in Afghanistan. I mean, even in civilian clothes, they had sidearms. It was like the Wild West. People had, 9 mils with them, helping us set up the show, the
Yeah.
volunteers. And I was like, man, this is real. And I'm glad we got to do this. I'm glad we got to come over here, meant a lot. I mean, and I'm so thankful they let me do that again. I mean, uh, Barry and Chief, to be able to let me do that. I mean, that's a dream come true. I really was literally like, I got to relive my childhood again. That was the most sweetest memories is 96 and 97, and I get to do it again. And I thank the Lord for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine being called back, over a decade later and saying,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, guess what? We need you." What? What? That's amazing to me. Um, how did once you got done with all this? Let's go back because I can imagine since you had such lag time, such a long period of time between '97 and 2013. After you got done with the '97 show, and you guys got meritorious service medals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a good story about that.
Oh,
When I was getting out of the military, because that right after I got off the tour, they extended my enlistment, so I was getting out. I go to personnel to help process, and I remember was waiting, and I hear this master sergeant goes, "How does a senior airman get a meritorious service medal?" Like it was a mistake. I said, "I don't know." Ask General Ryan about it. You can ask him. And that's what I told her, and it
yeah.
was a 4-star. I said, "Ask General Ryan about it," and then she shut up.
You should have said, "Hey, let me get the general on the phone for you real quick, and you can talk to him." That's great. So how did I know you? I'm sure you hit the wall after '97 because that was a monster tour. How did it change you? I mean, we all have this. All the priors have the same kind of the basic things happen to them after tour, the wall and whatnot. But how did it change you? As a man, as a person, as how did it change? How did it change Scott after all that? How did it take you moving forward?
Well, Thompson Blue, it gave me a little bit of sense of well, it changed me just being thankful I got to do it because I knew I didn't deserve it. God could have done that to anybody. He gave me the ability to play guitar. I swear I didn't know how to play, and all of a sudden I could play. But as far as that, it opened so many doors up musically. When I got and I went back to the civilian world and worked. I mean, I played music on the weekends. Weekend warrior.
Right.
I never had a problem with getting in bands. I could get into any band if somebody. I mean, if you wanted, I was almost likened to if the equivalent of a real pretty girl. If somebody broke up with her, she would get a boyfriend easy because she's so pretty.
Well,
Because of
you
playing
become a
guitar,
guitar player
and
for
everything,
hire?
huh?
Did you become a guitar player for hire?
Yeah, if I played in the band and I didn't like the way it was going and somebody was being a butt, I said, okay, I'll just leave. I could get in the band, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, still to this day, I mean, because of Thompson Blue and because of being able to and because of the training and everything like that, I still every 3 months I'll get a call somebody want me to play guitar for them, and I haven't played in years because of that tour. And I mean, we I just played music just from Thompson Blue. It was easy. I could get in bands and learn tunes real quick and just get right in there and then perform it. And had the work ethic for it because I loved it. I mean, I love music, and it taught me that I love music and be professional. And it's helped me out with that musically. Of course, I've never made it big or anything like that, but just playing in bands. We had minor success, locally as a cover band or whatever. But I mean, I never had any problem getting in a band. I never didn't meet an audition. I never got said, "Well, no, we can't use you." I always got the gig, always.
Well, even if you didn't pursue higher levels of musicship after Blue, you can still say two things. You got to tour the world playing guitar twice.
Oh yeah.
Entertain the families twice. Some folks have done it 4 times. Some friars have done it 5 times.
Hmm.
That's something you can't take away. You can't take that away from anybody. That and again, you weren't just a guy that went to the hotel, got on stage, played your show, saw groupies, went back to the hotel. Your
Hmm.
days 20 hours long for a year.
Oh yeah. It's wonderful, and it's like and I really feel bad because as a family, it was really hard because when I got married, I'm not married now, but it was really hard marriage wise because they still have aspirations to do things. It's really hard when you've got to do a lot of stuff. You're satisfied in a lot of ways. You don't have, I've seen the world, so a lot of people hadn't seen it before, so I don't have the same passion as they did, and it's kind of was a kind of a problem, and I recognize it now in retrospect. But it's kind of like I'm happy. If I died today, I got to do the cool. I had the coolest enlistment. I had the coolest enlistment in the world. I can't think of. I've not met anybody that had a better enlistment than me. I mean, other than somebody that was on Tops and Blue. I mean, I really can't. And I'm not bragging. It's just it's the truth. I mean, I'd never. When they talk about veterans, the true veterans, they had to go to battle and everything. Those, really something. I got to go. I never had to go face a battle. I never had to go to war. I got to play guitar. I mean,
Yeah.
the Lord blessed me. I mean, He really spared me from a lot of things. I could have went, with all of my dad had to go to war. My grandfather had to go to war. I thank the Lord I didn't have to do it. I would have done it if I had to, but I mean, He spared me. He let me do this. I don't know why. I still ask the question, why did I get to do this when so many other people didn't come back, from things? And I just thank the Lord for it.
Well, you were the right man for the job, my friend.
I loved it. I
Well,
loved it. I miss it. I sure miss it. It's if I'm feeling bad, I mean, I can just dial up the memories and think of all those wonderful faces. And something about Tops and Blue too is you had a group of people, diverse people. I mean, from all walks of life,
mhm. Yep.
and everybody become a family. I've never been in a group like that. And it's made me. You want to ask me how it prepared me? I can work with anybody. Because you get to know people on an intimate level. People are different from you, different views from you, but you got a common goal, and everybody gets together and they work and they get it done, and you end up loving people you never thought you'd ever love.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point too. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know they love me a little bit because with my mouth, I'm lucky I didn't get my butt kicked a few times out there running my. I mean, I learned finally, but they were very tolerant of me. When you know, everybody gets tolerant, and you learn how to work with people, and there's no better thing. When you see these reality shows of things like I was on one of those. I mean, that was on the ultimate reality show.
Yeah. And it shocks me nobody's done a movie yet.
I know, yeah. I don't think people, when I tell people I was in the band, oh, you had it easy. I'm like,
Dude, you have
I
no
can't
idea.
even, if you only knew, if I could just take you one day on a day and just
You
see
just have to
one
stop and look
day.
at them and say, "Oh, you're right. Whatever." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give up on people like that, man. You really do. Because again, I have no clue. I have no clue. All right. So something I want to do, and I'm going to do it the first time for you. I haven't done this with any other prior I've had in this podcast. We're going to do a 5 question speed round.
Okay.
I don't want you to think about the answers. Just go to your first instinctual answers. Okay. We're going to do
Okay.
5. Ready? We'll end it with this. Your favorite chord.
My favorite what?
Chord. Guitar
Oh,
chord.
favorite chord? Uh, it's a a minor 9 chord, E minor 9.
You mind not? I'll have to look that up now.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite guitar hero?
Eric Johnson.
Somebody tried to emulate who?
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson. I love that.
Mm.
What you remember being your biggest mistake on stage that you just went,
Not dressing in the dressing room in Kansas, Wichita, and they opened the curtains. I was in my underwear.
That's great. That's great. Oh my goodness. Longest time you think you stayed awake on tour?
Oh, 27 hours.
Really? Was that a staging?
No, that was the Bob Hope show. Sorry, I'm moving. My phone's fixing to die. I'm gonna get my charger.
No worries. No worries. We're almost done. It's all good. We're almost done. Put it on full power mode.
Oh, I am. I'm going to do this right now. Sorry, it's about to go.
Oh,
And I'll get right sitting down. Sorry about that.
oh, you're fine. I get it. All
I'll
right.
tell
Now,
you what.
while you're walking, your favorite song in the 95 tour?
No, oh,
96 tour. 96 tour. I'm sorry.
96 tour. Oh,
Yeah.
it was Because You Love Me
Ah,
by Celine Dion.
okay. Favorite song on the 97 tour?
That was oh shoot, man. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Probably Drumming Man, because Tega had a cool drum solo.
Yeah, that was a good tune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost your video.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Okay.
You see
good.
me now?
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Favorite song on the 2013 tour?
Oh, that was Carol of the Bells.
Hear the Bells. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right. Well, before we end this, you got any questions for me? Anything you want to ask me?
Uh, let's see. Well, I mean, trying to think. One thing I don't want to say, I'm really glad you're doing this. I've enjoyed that you doing this. It's I'm glad somebody's doing this. I know I'm surprised this hadn't been done before. This is wonderful because I get to I didn't know much about Daryl, because I didn't tour with him.
Yeah.
And now, I didn't know he was a doctor. That was amazing. Getting to see Keith again, and and then I'm going to catch up on a couple of the others that you did, like the young lady you did the other day, because I met her in 2013. She was on another tour. I think she was on 2010. Trying to remember her name.
Katie.
She was
Katie's
really
daughter.
nice,
Yeah.
really nice. She helped us out in the staging, and so I'm going to watch that, and it's cool because you get to learn about and hear about everybody else's experiences on the tour, and you get to relive your own tour, and
It makes you think back.
yeah, I just hate to think that I could never go to the production center again and walk down there and see
Yeah.
the posters. I just man,
I have no reason to go to Lackland anymore.
I know it's
plenty of
just
reason to go to Texas and San Antonio. I got a lot of friends down there, but no reason to go on Lackland anymore because I used to
I
love
know.
going there for that reason, just to visit. Yeah.
I know. It's just, I just saw, Chief did such a good job. He fought for that program, and you seen it. He just really, really, everywhere we went, he talked about the importance of Tops and Blue when he was out on the road with us, and he really, really did it because I think it was constantly under fire, all the years, and he was a champion for it,
Yeah.
and and I wish they would bring something back because I really hate it for the airmen. They don't have that opportunity to be able to do that. I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity. There's no other, I can't think of any place that would give you an opportunity like that.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. No, it's my pleasure to do this. Yeah, you're right. I'm surprised nobody's done this before. It literally came to me. I've been doing a podcast with a high school buddy of mine for the last 2.5 years, and we've been interviewing people we went to school with back in the 70s to see how they're doing. And that took off. And we did 2.5 seasons of that. And I'm like, why don't I do the same thing, kind of the same thing with priors? I thought, and then I looked, didn't see anybody else was doing it. I was like, if we want to bring folks back together, because we miss each other. We know we miss each other. People will deny us talking about it. We do.
Oh yeah. I mean, how could you not? I mean,
There's too much commonality to not talk about it. So
the good thing is with Facebook now, at least you can, if you don't talk to people, you can see what they're doing, see how they're doing, and just catch up with them. If you don't talk to them every day, you can see if they post anything, what they're doing, and that's nice. And but I mean, and the good thing about this is you've just started this. There's so many cool interviews you can do. I mean, it'd be awesome if you could get. I mean, there's just so many people. I mean, there's just all stars all over the place.
Well,
I mean,
and my game plan is not to give away too much of the sauce here, but my game plan is to shake it up by doing the individual interviews like this. But I guarantee there will be a Bassists of Blue podcast. I want to bring on just the guitar players. I want to bring just the staging directors. You know what I'm saying? A screen of just years of staging directors that just talk about sets, and bass players and guitar players and just drummer night and horn player night. There's
oh yeah.
there's a million ways to divide this cake up and have a good time with it. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So,
Oh yeah, there's so many possibilities. You can go so many directions in this, and it'd be cool if well, I mean, there's just so many. I mean, look at the cast that you have. There's still people that are still around that you could pull from. I mean, just all the tours. I guess it stopped. I guess the last tour was it 2015? I think.
yeah.
Yeah, so we got 2015, but even beyond that, I mean, I'm just 54 and I was 96. So I mean, you got people. I mean, there's just tons of people.
Yeah, it's a long list, and it's a good list. It's a really good.
hmm
All right, old friend. Well, I'm gonna let you go there. So my game plan is I'll get this out at the end of the week. That way, my last one with Katie, it gets out there in the ether and marinate. People can. I want to give her. I'm trying to give everybody fair time, to be watched. So I'll get yours out probably this weekend. So,
Oh, cool.
all right.
Well, I hope I don't bring your ratings down, man.
That's not about the ratings, old friend. Otherwise, I'd be doing a cabin. I wouldn't be doing it in the man cave, but this is a pretty cool setting, so I'm happy with it. So,
Oh, yes, awesome.
yeah. All right, Scott. Well, thank you again. Much love to you, old friend. I appreciate you taking the time here with me on this Tuesday evening. Please give my best to your kids and keep in touch. All right.
Oh, you too. It's great talking with you again, Dave. Thanks for letting me do this. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Okay. You have a great evening, Scott. Take care. Thank you, man.
Oh, you too, buddy. Bye bye.